Like I can already feel like you guys are gonna like do cool stuff.
Into the motive.
Just being good to one another.
Yeah.
You guys are doing a good thing here.
The people at the top collaborate, and the people that are at the bottom compete.
Yeah, it resulted in me shooting him.
I was charged with 109 and a 50.
Ultimately, you'll get to where you want to go if you push yourself enough.
I genuinely love this conversation.
I love the Motive Podcast.
Welcome back to the Motive Podcast. I'm your host, Leo Kosach. Alongside me is my co-host, Kyle Cohen. And as you can see today, guys, the first official Motive Podcast virtual episode. We've been wanting to do this for a long time. So, guys, please welcome a up-and-coming musician, singer-songwriter, Mr. Charlie Carpy, joining us from the great state of Idaho. Charlie, thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's so I feel like, Kyle, we've been talking about how like the motive for the podcast itself, like just as we go to college here next year and just like securing like bigger name guests, it's just trending to go virtual to an extent.
Yeah, the future of the pod for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So
it's a first experience.
This is kind of like our first like official. We did like a non-video virtual episode of Mr. Salcedo like when we first started, but this is like our first time we're using this platform, StreamYard. So it seems sick. But Charlie, so what are you 2 hours behind us, by the way?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so let's start with like we like to do with a lot of our guests, your upbringing. So I know. Well, by the way, how do we even connect? So I feel like we could just kind of like connect it over online. I saw your music stuff. Like, I don't know if you hit me up. It was like kind of cool. Like, do you remember?
So I got to give a special shout out to Sean.
Oh yeah. Sean Williams.
Okay.
Shout out. He was on the pod.
You guys had a past guest, Sean, on. And I was kind of just talking to him. He had seen some of my stuff on my page. And I had mentioned that I was like interested in doing a podcast, and he said, let me hit up one of my boys and see what we can do. So that's kind of how I'm here today.
Definitely, yeah. Sean's the man. I've been in touch with him like almost every week. He's like shooting me new guests, like new people in the music industry. So yeah, shout out Sean. We're happy to have you here, of course. But yeah, so what, you grew up in California? Tell us about that. I think you told me a little bit about it, but tell me about life growing up in California, where, school, all that good stuff.
Of course, yeah. So I grew up in Napa Valley. It's just a small town in Northern California, about hour and a half from San Francisco. For people that don't know that area that well.
That's like wine country, right?
What's that?
That's like wine country, right? Napa Valley.
Oh, yeah, quite a bit of wine. My dad was involved in the wine industry. I had our own label and grapes,
okay,
and vineyard and whatnot.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, I graduated with 100 people in my class, so I went to a small high school called St. Helena High School. So yeah, I mean, I played 3 sports in high school. We're a small school, so we didn't have too crazy competition, but I played basketball, soccer, and track. So yeah, I mean, I sang a little bit in choir for a few years. But we'll get into my singing stuff later.
Definitely. So would you say overall kind of just a pretty normal childhood to your understanding?
Yeah. Great parents, very, very family based, eating dinner together every night and talking about how our day went and whatnot. I had my dad as my coach for growing up. That kind of typical. My mom was my teacher in preschool. So, yeah, I guess just super close to my family and friends. And yeah, pretty normal for the most part.
Definitely. What's kind of the vibe out there? Like, is it like, I know you're not in LA, but like, is the LA vibe, does it kind of like wear off at all into where you were, like that ultra like competitiveness and like the industry?
Isn't LA
like
far from?
Yeah, I know it's far, but like, is it still like that even in like San Fran or anything, or are you kind of far enough like removed from that whole world?
It's pretty funny. It's definitely getting more to that point. But I haven't really been there or lived there in like 3 years since I live here in Boise now. But from what I know, it's definitely getting closer to that. But growing up, I feel like I didn't experience any of that LA or kind of big city vibe at all. It was more just a small town. Let's drive around and listen to music for 2 hours on the weekends. That's what we did.
Definitely. That's sick. So when college came around, like what were your choices? Right now, like you're joining us from Boise, Idaho because you go to Boise State. How did you pick Boise State? And like where was your mind at the end of high school? What were you considering and what's your major?
For sure. Yeah. So my sister came to Boise State, and that was my original, like how I kind of got interested. I was a junior in high school, and my sister is 2 years older than me, so she's already graduated. But she's kind of the one that got me into it. I had visited her my junior year, and I stayed with her in her dorm or apartment at the time. I don't remember. And she brought me around the campus, and I went to a football game, and I kind of got to experience the college life down here, and I really liked it. So that's kind of how it kind of came up. And how that even further back, how my sister got introduced to Boise State was I have a cabin that's like 2 hours north of here. So and my dad was just exploring Idaho, and he had mentioned, you guys are going to college soon, you might want to check out Boise State. So yeah, I guess that's kind of how I chose to pick it.
Yeah, it's sick. What's the vibe at Boise State? Like, how many students? Like, I'm not too familiar. Honestly, I got more introduced, seeing that blue football field all this fall. They were good this year. But how many students are there, and what's kind of like the campus vibe? Like, is it in the middle of nowhere and it's kind of just like a college town? Like, what's the vibe
there? So it's not in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's pretty close to our downtown. It's probably like a 20-minute walk downtown, where all the bars and food and kind of like the weekend scene and whatnot goes down. But the vibe is I honestly love it. It's just like everyone seems like family. A lot of people got smiles on their faces, and it's just kind of like you're not afraid to introduce yourself to anyone. It's just like, it's really chill, honestly.
That's awesome. Cool. Like I bet you there's a lot of people from not like from other states, just like you, like from California. So I bet you it's kind of cool, like good melting pot of people that maybe go to the school just from the West Coast.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't done like full statistics yet. But it's around like 50% of people that go to Boise State are from California. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not a curse and a blessing, but it's kind of the same like idea. It's like, whenever I ask someone where they're from, it's like, California, San Diego, LA, North Orange County. It's a lot of Californians. I would say the rest are mostly locals. Like, it's either you're from California or you went to Boise High, like 10 minutes away from campus. So it's like, it's a pretty even balance between Californians and a couple Oregons, Washingtons, But
yeah, I can't even imagine what the state's like. I mean, I picture that honestly, it's like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
that's like East Coast kids, like Idaho, Montana. It's like nothing.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't blame you at all. If I didn't go to this college, I would think it's just a potato farm, also. So like, it's not. Yeah. I don't take anything personal. We only got our blue field here, so.
Yeah. And my boy Kyle here committed to Pitt University.
I just did, yeah.
Earlier
I just
today.
Decided, so.
He made the decision. We've been talking about this on the pod since we started the pod. Every single episode, it's like, oh, college, what are we gonna do? Pitt University,
finally,
Kyle. Shake my hand.
Moves, so.
Shake your hand for that.
There we go. I would dap you up, but I'm across the country here.
Yeah, right. We'll fly you out just to do the dab up. But Yeah, and your football was great this year. Like I said, our Penn State Nittany Lions here in Pennsylvania played Boise State, Ashton Genty in the quarterfinal for the college football playoff. So obviously you guys were good. Like, do you get a lot of football games? Is it a big like atmosphere thing, vibe thing there to go to all the big games?
Yeah, so it was honestly such a blessing to watch Genty's season. I tried to go to every single home game, watch every single second I can, because I know like at the end of the season, I realized I was like, I just witnessed like history. Like I just witnessed probably in my opinion, the best running back that will be in college football probably for a while. So that we'll see in a while in terms of like dominance and just like crazy athleticism and just an athlete. But the culture and the vibe of the games is just like it's so incredible. Like when the whole crowd is singing together and we got all of our lights out and stuff. And I feel like it really didn't become that big until Genty really started going crazy. So yeah, that's kind of my look on that.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it'd be interesting where he goes in the draft. I heard top 10. Like I heard Cowboys, I feel like had some connections there, or even earlier than that. Like I saw a mock draft where he was like number 6 or something like that. I don't even know. But
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm a Niners fan, so it kind of stings to see all that happening. I think we're at like the 11th pick, so
okay, you might just miss him.
I hope he doesn't go that deep, and I don't think he will. But I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah. I just realized I'm not wearing shoes on this episode, Kyle, so I might get flamed. So I have this guy. There's this guy on YouTube that like flames me for like that I'm in my socks, bro. It's so funny. That's gonna be a great episode.
He's got to have something better to do with his life than
I get flamed right on my socks. No, anyway, sorry for that. Regardless, next question. But speaking of sports, March Madness championship game tonight when this episode drops. Houston versus Florida. I got Houston all day long tonight, by the way, for the March Madness championship. But yeah, I don't know if you've been following that at all, but
I would second that. I would definitely second that. I'm going with Houston.
Yeah,
I still can't believe Duke lost. I just can't believe it. They sold. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I personally wanted Coop to get it. I just wanted him to win his chip and just go straight to the league. I feel like that would be a super cool story. Yeah. But I don't know. I've heard talk that he's going to come back to Duke maybe one more. I don't know. We'll see.
I think all the people are saying like, he doesn't want to play for any of the teams that might have a top pick because it's like what the Hornets, the Jazz, who else is up there that's like really bad.
Like
I don't even know who else is. Pistons.
Yeah.
Well, the Pistons were actually better this year, but yeah,
the Sixers.
Like the Sixers, which I guess some people hoping for the lottery to win big.
So bad.
Sixers fans around here because we've been bad this year. But can't even say we. I'm not even a Sixers fan, but yeah.
And the last sports thing I gotta mention yesterday, Alex Ovechkin. Like I'm a hockey fan. Ovechkin set the all-time goal record in the NHL. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that's that's absolutely crazy. Like Wayne Gretzky's record of 894. Like no one thought that could be broken. And it's like Ovechkin just like did it. Like it's hard to believe.
Nobody will beat his points record though.
Yeah,
I don't think that's happening.
Ovechkin has like 800 more points than the second place. It's like something insane, bro.
You mean Gretzky?
Gretzky. I mean, yeah. But anyway, that was sick to watch yesterday. But yeah, moving on from sports. So getting into music, we'll get into music now. So like, where did you find music? Where were you introduced to music? Like, was your family musical at all? All that good stuff.
Yeah. So let's see. So I joined. How I first got my first like inspiration for music was definitely my sister. My sister's a singer, and I guess that comes from the core of my dad. My dad is definitely got the voice and the dance skills. I guess you could say. My mom is the complete opposite. She cannot sing to save her life, and my mom can dance a little bit though. I'll give her some props for that. She can dance a little bit, but in terms of singing, we leave that to dad. But I would say I joined choir at 9. there was like a requirement you had to be like at a certain grade or certain age or whatever, and I
Yeah.
auditioned for this choir, and Craig Bond, my choir teacher at the time, it was a little children's choir, he was like, well, you're in. And I was this little guy, like all nervous for my audition, and I was super excited because right after the audition, the next day was our first like official practice or whatever for choir. So that was pretty incredible. That's kind of how I got started. So I was in choir for 5 years. I don't know, until I was like 14. I think like right before I went into high school, when I thought it was lame and I thought people would make fun of me, which I shouldn't have. Don't people listening, don't do that. Don't give in to what people think about you. I wish I stayed in choir throughout high school, but I did not. So yeah, that's kind of how I got introduced to music and how I kind of got intervened with that whole music lifestyle kind of.
Definitely. Did you know you kind of had a good voice, relatively speaking? Like, did you think you definitely had something that you could kind of like work into something and kind of like hone in your craft?
So kind of. I think I'm just really lucky that I have like the best mom ever, and is like super supportive, and like, I'm the kid that I'm horrible at like drawing and any sort of painting, and like all of my horrible art and everything is like up on our walls and stuff. I still don't know why, but like my mom is just so like supportive in anything I do. So I would say I had a certain confidence to myself where I knew that like if I worked towards something, I could do it. So I would say I was definitely naturally, blessed, to say the least, but it was more of like a confidence thing with singing. I was previously before that, we'll get into it later too, but I acted too. I was in some plays and whatnot, High School Musical, Hairspray and whatnot. So it kind of all came together. And yeah, now I'm here now.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. So like, if the people go check out your page and everything, like, and what I've seen, like, you definitely have kind of like that country vibe, that like pop country, like there's a lot there, and I feel like that's like where the state of music is, honestly. Like you see so much of this cross genre stuff, like, and I know you sent me one of your demos a few weeks ago, which it was great. It sounded really good. But like what's kind of the vibe with like in your head with all the cross genre stuff of like the country, the pop, you hear like your Morgan Wallen stuff with like the bass beats, like what's kind of your vibe on that, and is that something that you like?
Yeah, I personally love it. Bailey Zimmerman and Big X the Plug just dropped a song, and I don't know if y'all listen to it, but it's pretty fire. Like I like it.
Ooh, that's an interesting combo. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of like that stuff. So my biggest, like, I would say inspiration and just like person I look at the most is definitely Shabuzi.
Yeah.
Right now, I love his music and I love his sound. And I just love his vibe. I was watching a live the other day. Him and DDG did a live and like made a song, and it was super good. So I don't know. I think it's a really cool thing to see these, especially like the combo with like the rapper and like the typical kind of rapper vibe with like that poppy kind of sound and like a country artist. I think it's good, and I think it's good for the industry. It's definitely mixing some stuff up in terms of like awards and whatnot. We won't get into that, the Grammys and whatever. Beyonce winning the country artist of the year or whatever. But
Yeah, the cross, like, it's just crazy. Like, I remember Shabuzi, like I was going through my playlist, and it's like I had a song from like 2019. It's like Moonwalking in Calabasas or something. Like when he was like a total rapper, and then you see him like freaking sing like what's the bar song? Yeah, bar song.
Wait. That's the same. That's not the same person.
Yeah,
no, that's DDG. That's DDG.
Oh, is it? I feel like there's. Oh, okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I was gonna say there's no way.
I swear Shabuzi. There's one old like total rap song by Shabuzi.
Shabuzi did rap. You're probably right.
Yeah.
You are getting them mixed up. Shabuzi did start off in rap. You know, even you go back 10 years ago, you look at his Spotify, and you can see he started off with rap music, and it doesn't even sound like him. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because like I just remember my parents would be asking me, I'll put on a song in the car and they're like, what genre is this? Or like who is this? And I'm like, I have no idea. Well, I'm saying who it is, but I have no idea how to explain to them what genre it is. Like it's like, oh, it's a mix of this and a mix of that. It's like I don't know. And then back like the music they're listening to is like, oh, this is classic rock. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And I saw Morgan Wallen on Theo Von's podcast the other day. I was watching that like this weekend, and he was talking about like his new album coming out. Like he wants to kind of like they were talking about like evolving and like your music evolving, like you want to evolve with your fans. And he was like, yeah, like if I'm kind of getting sick of like hearing like the bass and trap stuff over in my country, then like I can't even imagine how like some of my fans are. Like they're probably ready to move on too. Like you gotta move on collectively. So he was saying how like this new album is like definitely like a step back from that, like more traditional. So like it's interesting to see. And that you had this past summer, you had like Post Malone drop all his stuff with like all the country collabs. And honestly, like I thought there's so many good songs on there. Like it was like his collab with Blake Shelton, his collab with Morgan Wallen, Hank Williams Jr. Like there's so much stuff in there. It's like it's very mainstream. There's no doubt about it. It's definitely very mainstream. But yeah, I mean, it's working obviously.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was blessed enough to see Posty, like I think it was one of his first times performing it, like his country album.
Where'd you see
He
him at?
was in San Francisco at Outside Lands, and it was like a special. He was like a special guest, and he came out and he killed it. Everyone wasn't expecting it because Outside Lands is kind of, I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but it's like it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's not a country festival at all, but this year the lineup just dropped and there's like Tyler the Creator, Doechii, Doja Cat, like those kind of artists. It's not as many country artists. But I thought he did a really good job and the crowd loved it too. So
that's sick. Yeah, you gotta let me know if you get any extra Coachella tickets.
I'm on it, brother. It's coming up this week.
Dude, I'll fly out for that. That would be so sick.
It's coming up this week. And then the week right after that. So I'm actually right after this. I've got some phone calls to make. So we'll make it happen.
Some connections. Yeah, that'd be so sick. I'm going most likely going on a little 10, 11 day like tour with my boy Chris Rafter, like a little road tour. In June, so we'll be out playing in like Vail, Colorado. Like I know that's still far away from you, but you know maybe be in your neck of the woods at some point then too.
Yeah, you got to let me know. I've got a bunch of buddies that live down in Colorado, so who knows?
Okay.
Who knows these days? It's a small world.
Definitely. But speaking of Shabuzi, like I see you post like a lot of covers, like you saying Shabuzi, and like that's also the way like. And that's how we got connected, like through social media. Like the social media world through music and music marketing is like just crazy. Do you have any like strategy? Like I've seen you post more and more covers, like just get a cover out, you sing and let the people hear your voice. Like what's kind of your strat at? Where's your mind at?
Yeah, for sure. It's like how I focus on it is like right now, I'm doing all by myself. Like I'm doing my self promotion,
Right.
This is all really on my own. Like it's just kind of like the baseline. So I really just do it for the love of it. I mean, obviously the comments and the people telling me like, oh, I like your cover, or I got people like recommending some at school. They're like, hey, I got this like next cover. I want you to do whatever. But I don't necessarily have a strategy. I just kind of listen to some music, and if I like the song and I think I want to do a cover, I've got some guys that my friend Brett, he plays the guitar great, and I've got my newest guitarist I'm doing some covers with. His name's Parker, and they both are really great guitarists. So it's more of just like it's kind of like a hobby kind of thing, honestly. And I just figured why not record it.
Yeah,
so that's kind of how I look at my strategy, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, loving it is definitely the most important part.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I've seen I think you got like 10K on TikTok, growing that social media presence. And like I said, obviously, like like it's huge. Like just getting yourself like it's just like some people like you just don't want to be like cringy about it. Like I feel like some people it's just like some people can get cringy about it. You want to be authentic. Like it's hard to find that balance. But I'm like obviously your stuff is is sick and you're still trying everything out, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So originals. You have a single out, right? All Alone. That's the only single you have out, correct?
I do. Correct. Yes.
So what was the process behind making that, producing it, getting it out, and like the meaning behind it, songwriting, all that good stuff?
For sure. Yeah. Let's get into it. So first want to give a shout out to Maverick. He is a singer-songwriter as well, in Napa Valley. And it all kind of originally got started with me just reaching out to him. There's another connection on social media. I reached out to him. I saw one of his TikToks and I saw that he lived in Napa. And he just happened to be the older brother of one of my like friends from high school. So it was a really weird coincidence. And he just happened to have a little studio in his room. And yeah, that's kind of how the whole song started. In terms of like writing and that that stuff, we wrote that song together. It took us like writing it, I would say, was the easiest part. It was the recording because it was my first ever recorded song. So that was definitely a learning curve. There's definitely a learning curve. And he'd kind of had some experience with recording. He already has some singles out and whatnot. So that was super helpful having him kind of take me under his wing. And he's a couple years older than me, so it was really cool having someone like that take me under his wing and kind of show me the how a song is produced and how much work it really takes. But yeah, we made that song in his bedroom with a single mic and a monitor and some speakers, and we kind of just got it rolling.
Yeah, definitely. That's so sick. The home studio stuff is it's definitely the move. Like it's just
It's our vibe.
it's cool. Yeah, it's cool, and it's just like it's authentic, and you don't have to pay like 10 grand to make like 3 singles out of like really good studio type of a deal.
Yeah, gosh, tell me about it. These, I hear about these prices and stuff, and I've got these people randomly or whatever wanting to record a song. Come out to LA or whatever, and just pay this, and you'll be good. It's like, it's not that easy. Broke college kid can't do it all.
Yeah, definitely. So what are your goals in general for upcoming music, covers, producing stuff, and originals, getting yourself out there more, all that good stuff?
For sure. So by the end of this year, I definitely want a full album. But it's my fans are going to be confused, to say the least, because like this potential album that I want to get out is definitely going to be like country. And my song All Alone is like obviously not country if you've listened to it at all.
It's like more rap.
Yeah, it's more of like a rappy. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't even know. It was just another one of those. We caught a vibe. We listened to the beat. We went through YouTube or whatever and got ourselves something we liked, and we went and we rolled with it. So
have you seen the Can a White Boy Catch a Vibe?
What's that?
Meme? Have you seen the I was laughing with my friends in school today, like like the meme where it's like, can a white boy catch a vibe?
Oh yeah.
All right, sorry, I just made me think of that.
I just reminded you.
Sorry, continue.
No, for sure. I wasn't clip farming either. That was real. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Aura farming.
Oh God. Where were we?
Oh, sorry, continue. Continue. You're vibing in the studio, making the song. You got the beat.
Yeah. Where I want to be with the future. Yeah. So for my birthday this summer, I'm gonna be out in Nashville.
Oh yeah.
and I'm turning 21, so it's gonna be a good
great
time.
Nashville's so sick, bro. My favorite city. And if you like music, come on, you'll love Nashville.
Exactly. Yeah. My whole goal is just to rock all the karaoke bars and see all the scenes. And
you got to get a Kid Rocks. Kid Rocks is such a great time. Like 4 floors, like a different band on every floor. There's so many good places.
Yeah, I've been asking around for some suggestions for sure. So I'll check it out. But yeah, I mean, my main goal, I've got some connections down there with some studios in Nashville. So obviously I'm going for my 21st. I'm gonna have fun, whatever. But I really want to get in the studio. I'm going out for like 5 days, so at least 1 or 2 of those days, I'd really just want to lock into a studio and just like get singing, get writing, immerse myself in like the country vibe and like the feel, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Nashville. I've heard so much about Nashville. People love it, people hate it, but like I've heard like good things about like the studio rates are like very reasonable. There's so many good people to work with, and like at Nashville, there's these things like we had a artist on our pod, Carly Simmons. Shout out her. I remember her telling us about like just the songwriting sessions they have at Nashville, where there's just like it's like 20 musicians come to this like dive bar. We'll sit around a circle and like let's just like everyone bring a guitar and just like play and like we'll think out your ideas together. Like stuff like that is like so cool.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something I want to get into. That's like right up my alley. I just want to like go to some bar, obviously when I'm 21, and just kind of vibe out with music and people that like my craft. Because quite honestly, it's here at Boise State, it's not very common I find someone else that sings country. So
okay.
Yeah. I think it's just interesting that you mentioned that in Nashville, like the difference in the community like there versus like LA. It's like way more collaborative.
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot less cutthroat than LA. And like there's like so many Nashville like traditionalists that's like, oh, like with this whole like country rap vibe, like, oh, it's losing, it's like it's becoming too mainstream. What's like there's probably some truth to that, but like I said, music's got to evolve how it evolves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a big thing that I believe in. So many people are forced into a box with music, and I really think it ruins some people's careers. I just think that music is just a form of art, and you got the paintbrush. You can do whatever you want. I think if you're, stay true to yourself and you just are a good person, do what you want. If it sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. And on your Instagram, and we've talked about it, so you got to go up on stage with the Kid Laroi. I assume that's probably one of the sickest moments that you've been a part of. Walk us through that.
Yeah, so my best friend Spencer. So I'll tell the story leading up to it. So I would say 3 months before Bottle Rock happened, which is a festival in Napa Valley, which is where I performed. I saw that the lineup had come out, and I saw that the Kid Laroi was on it, and he was at one of the main stages. And from the second that I saw the lineup, I said, I'm gonna get on stage with the Kid Laroi. And this is when I'm going to get into some weird manifestation stuff. But I'm telling you, man, after this experience, I'm like a full like flip of the switch. Like I totally believe in that kind of stuff. Because I didn't even tell people, like, people were talking about it at school because I was in high school at the time. Or no, I wasn't in high school at the time. I was in college. But I was back home talking to all my high school friends. And, they're like, oh, whatever. Like, I'm excited to see these people. Like, are you going to go? Whatever. I'm like, I'm getting on stage with the Kid Laroi. And I didn't even say I was going. I was like, yeah, I'm singing on stage. Like when people would ask me I'm going, I'm like, yeah, I'm performing. And like people look at me obviously and be like, what are you talking about? You're not in the lineup. You're not performing. Like, whatever. I was like, all right, like you'll see. And, that was kind of just like a shot into the wind. I was like, I'm just going to go with it and hope God takes care of the rest. So that that was kind of a cool part leading up to it. But it was actually the morning of, is when I really decided that I was going to do that. And I looked at my friend Spencer and I'm like, am I really getting on stage? Like, I kind of feel like I am. Like, this is a weird feeling I have right now. So I was like, I'm horrible at art, like I told you before. So I was like, can you just like write this poster up real quick for me? Like, can I get on stage and sing Stay With You? He was like, are you sure? Like, is that like, I don't know. I don't know if that's really going to happen. I was like, it's going to happen. Trust me. And sure enough, I get there and I think T-Pain was performing right before Kid Laroi. And I was there probably 3 hours prior to get a good spot where he could see my sign. And, you know, I get into the front and he starts performing. And I had this feeling right when I got there. I was like, oh God, it's not going to happen. Like, I don't know why. I was putting my sign up and it doesn't feel that like natural. I don't know. And I really have to give props out to my best friends and my whole friend group, because they're the ones that made it happen. People haven't seen that like video, but in the middle of his performance, he is singing and he hears like this random chant, and they're all like, Charlie, Charlie, you know, all this, like all this, my huge friend group is all in the middle and they're all screaming my name. And he's like, what is going on? Why are you guys screaming some random person's name? Like, what is this? And he looks at the sign. He's like, is that the kid with the sign? And I'm looking at him like this, you know, with the, like a kid at the first time at the candy store, my big sign like this. And he's like, oh yeah, like, let's make it happen at the end of the show. He's like, we can't do it right now, but at the end of the show for sure. So sure enough, that's when I'm like, okay, it's going to happen. I locked in and I was, you know, listening to the song in my ear. I was like, gosh, do I know the lyrics? I better know all the damn lyrics, because I'm about to sing this on stage in front of 20,000 people. Like, I better know what I'm singing. So, you know, I'm all nervous, whatever. And then he's like, all right, are you ready? Like, we're singing Stay right now. Like, are you ready? And I'm like, heck yeah. So his huge security guard pulls me out of the crowd, and I get right up there, and he has me show the sign that I made, and he's like, look at that. You know, that was really cool. And that's when it settled in, and that's when my nerves just went, and I didn't have any problems. My head just went clear, and it was like just a out of body experience, to be honest. I don't even know how to explain it. I can't remember all of it because it was just like, it felt like a dream. But the second I stood up on the stage and he said, hit it, I was ready. And it felt so natural. And that's when I knew I could be a performer and someone that can be in front of a crowd that big, because it felt so normal when I was up there, like just dancing, whatever. And then he handed me the mic and it didn't change. It just felt like I was performing and I needed to do my job and have fun with it. So that's kind of how that whole story went down.
Yeah, that's so sick. Like, I mean, it sounds like, you know, you're just living in the moment at the end of the day, which is the best way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Kyle, you got anything?
No.
All right, I wasn't sure if you were going for anything there. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great place to wrap it up. Walk us through like any final goals, and what the future is going to look like.
Yeah. Like I said, coming out of this Nashville trip, I definitely want to record some music and string together an album by the end of this year. I think that's one of my big goals. I'm not sure of any features or anything like that yet, but definitely, you know, starting to get into some small venues and get into the bar scene now that I'm about to turn 21, and kind of just get my name out there and get show the world what I can do. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
That's cool. Excited to see where you go with everything, and definitely be listening for your new album.
Yeah, for sure. Best of luck with everything.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us for our first official virtual episode. I think it went well. Hopefully the audience agrees. And yeah. Motive
Thank you guys for
Podcast.
having me. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be the first person of the virtual pod.
There you go.
There you go.
Motive Podcast. Leo Kosich, Kyle Cohen, Charlie Carpy signing off. Peace. See you next week.